Broadway's My Beat, with Anthony Ross as Detective Danny Clover.
Broadway's My Beat, from Times Square to Columbus Circle. The gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world. That's the street I'm walking. I was heading for the courthouse one day, thinking of a phone call I got from Judge Summers. Said he could use a cop with the wisdom of Solomon. I met the judge in his chambers, wondering why he had picked me.
Why you, Lieutenant Clover?
Huh?
Because I have a problem for a cop who can think like a judge, Danny.
For a cop's pay or a judge's, Your Honor?
A young woman is in New York looking for her father, Danny. He disappeared 10 years ago. She's applied to Missing Persons Bureau, and she doesn't know it yet, but they've located him. They don't know what to do about it, so they've asked my advice, and I'm asking yours.
Oh, I don't get it, Judge. If they found him, what's the problem?
Human relations. Her father was located a prisoner in Sing Sing. Served 10 years. Tomorrow he comes out on parole. He insists that his identity be kept from his daughter, that she be told her father is dead.
But, Judge, how does this... where do you or I...
Where do we come in, Danny? Mm-hmm. Well, let's say through sheer sentiment. You see, I was the judge who sentenced him, and you were the arresting officer.
Oh. Who's the prisoner, Judge?
Nelson Jennings. Remember the case?
Nelson Jennings? 10 years ago?
Yes. A writer. Manslaughter. Got in a fight with a drunk at a nightclub. The drunk died of a heart attack as the result of the fight.
Yeah, it comes back. He was night clubbing with his wife. A no-good stew at the next table passes an insulting remark to Mrs. Jennings. Yeah, no. Well, what guy wouldn't haul off, Judge? I always did think you gave Jennings a pretty hard ride.
His victim died a pretty long death, Danny.
Yeah.
I'll admit, though, I may have been a bit severe then. But today, Danny, in a similar case, I suppose I would be inclined to temper justice with mercy.
This daughter, Judge, who's looking for him now, you mean she actually hasn't known her father's been in the big house for 10 years?
That's right. From what I'm told, she grew up believing her father dead. That's the way that Jennings wanted it. And that's the way he insisted his wife play it.
Oh, what happened to the wife?
Ruth's mother died recently, and on her deathbed changed the story, Danny. Said Jennings was alive and somewhere in New York. But she still kept the real truth from the girl.
How old is the girl now?
She's 20. She was 10 when all this happened.
Judge, what is it you want me to do?
Danny, I want you to talk to them both. Now, a daughter wants her father. The father prefers to be dead, his past unrevealed, so his child won't be stigmatized. He's paid his debt and feels that the law owes him this one request. Now, where is our responsibility, Danny? It's a hard decision. You visit them both and decide. Do what you think best. I'm leaving it up to you.
Judge Summers, you told me you wanted a cop with the wisdom of Solomon.
That's right.
Well, I'll sure need it. You say Jennings is due out tomorrow,
Yes. And I hope he never violates his parole and that he's learned to control his temper.
And where can I find the daughter?
On your beat, Cleveland Hotel, Ruth Jennings.
Judge.
Yeah?
What was it Solomon finally did decide?
Lieutenant Clover, I beg you, let me have my way in this. My child must not find me. She mustn't, never.
Fella, be reasonable. I know how you feel, but, well, after all, she came to New York to find her father.
She's better off without a father like me.
Oh.
I won't ruin her life like I ruined her mother's. A 10-year stretch is a long time. I'm an old man now. I died for my family's sake 10 years ago. All I asked of them was that they bury me and live.
And you still think that made sense?
Yes. Look at my daughter now. Shortly before my wife died, she wrote me that Ruth's engaged to be married. Do you know who to? Let me tell you, Lieutenant, to young Johnny Milton, who comes from a very prominent family in Indianapolis, do you think that could have happened if the Miltons ever knew Ruth's father was a convict? Do you think Ruth would go through with it if she knew?
You win, Jennings.
Lieutenant,
Yes?
you saw my daughter.
Yeah.
How does she look?
How? Jennings, for a guy who insists he's dead, you're darn curious. But I'll tell you anyway. In one word, sweet.
You're sure, Lieutenant Clover? There's no trace of my father anywhere?
I'm sorry, Miss Jennings. Nothing turned up yet. But, what made you think he was in New York?
Oh, just a feeling. Mother used to take trips to New York. Never told me why. Left me with Grandma. And when she came back, she'd be crying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then just before she died, she told me for the first time that Father wasn't dead, that he was somewhere, and that he still loved us very much.
So you think your mother's trips to New York were to see him, hmm?
Yes, there's some mystery about it all. Oh, Lieutenant, he's alive. Don't ask me how I know, but I know it. He's alive and he's somewhere in New York. Oh, please, please don't stop looking for him.
What if I do find him, Ruth? And what if he isn't, well, everything you'd like to... I mean, that is, say that something's happened to him.
Oh, Lieutenant, I'd love my dad no matter what's happened. He's my father, and well, even if he turned up with one leg...
No, not in illness, I mean, but something even worse than that. What if you learned that he... Well, this couldn't happen to him, but you never can tell. What if you found out, say, that your father's been in prison?
In prison?
Yeah. I mean, would that make a difference? Would you prefer to return home without finding that kind of a father?
Oh, of course not. I think I'd love him even more then, because he'd need me more. Oh, a father's a father.
Oh, what about the man you're going to marry? What if he learned? And his folks? Maybe all your wedding...
Johnny and I are in love, Lieutenant. Even if his parents would be shocked, it couldn't make any difference to him. And if it did, I'd never want to marry him because, well, then he wouldn't deserve my love.
Oh, Ruth, you can't imagine how glad I am to hear you talk like that. You've got a right to know, Ruth.
You mean he's alive? My father's alive?
Mm-hmm. He's been in Sing Sing for the last 10 years. He got out just yesterday on parole.
10 years? Oh, poor Dad.
No. Really, an accident. See, your father's no criminal, Ruth. He hit a man who insulted your mother, and the man died of a heart attack. Any real husband would have done just what your father did. You've got nothing to be ashamed of. He just got a tough break. You see, the judge...
Then we'll be together. Something told me I'd see my father again.
No, Ruth, I'm afraid you won't.
What do you mean? Why not?
He doesn't want to see you. He wants to keep playing dead. Begged me never to tell you. I promised I wouldn't.
But after all these years, how can you even think of it? No, I'm going right to him.
Wait. It's his life. And that's the way he wants to live it, for your welfare.
But now that I'm about to get married, all the while I thought I had no mother or father to advise me. And now that I have a father, oh, if you'd only see my Johnny, give me his consent.
Ruth, all I can say is that it would kill your father to know that you knew. After these 10 years, he's built it up in his mind. And you've got to humor his wish. Well, maybe someday he'll come to you on his own, but till then...
How does he look, Lieutenant?
Gray.
Daddy, gray?
Do you remember him at all?
Oh, yes.
How? How do you remember him?
Young. Oh, if I could only see him again, if just for a moment. Lieutenant, isn't there a way somehow I can just get a glimpse of him without him knowing?
Well, I don't see exactly.
Oh, please, it would mean so much to me. Can't you arrange it somehow?
Could be. I know the rooming house he's staying in. It's off Broadway.
Please.
I can look you... I've got an idea. Listen, Ruth. Now, look. If you'll just do what I say, I think I can fix something up.
What did you say, Lieutenant Clover?
I said, would you like to just sort of catch a glimpse of your daughter, Mr. Jennings? You know, sort of meet her, but without her knowing who you really are?
Yes, go on.
Well, then drop in at the Broadway Automat at 6. I'm having a bite with her there. Just stop at our table a minute. I'll introduce you as an old friend of mine. Make it Bert Freeling.
I'm afraid...
She's leaving town tomorrow. She's giving up the hunt for her dad. Here's your one chance.
She might recognize me, but I don't think she will, do you? She was only 10 at the time. She's a young lady now.
That's right, Jennings.
It's been 10 long years. I have changed a lot, Lieutenant, haven't I?
Yes, you've changed a lot, Mr. Jennings.
So she'd never... That is, I don't see what harm if I was just to sort of bump into you two at the table for a moment and you introduced me as someone else.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't think I could stand it. Let me think it over. My head's pounding. Let me think it over.
Why doesn't he come? Are you sure he said he'd come, Lieutenant?
Yes, Ruth. He should be here any minute. Shh, now, easy. Now, do you think you'd recognize him?
Yes, and I think I'm going to faint. Oh, that must be him right now, that man coming this way.
Easy now, Ruth. Which man? Oh, this.
He didn't stop.
No, Ruth, that wasn't him.
Oh, I surely thought it
But,
was.
Ruth, what sort of a picture do you have of your dad? That fella just went by. He's still young. You still remember him.
Still young?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. I couldn't imagine him as anything...
Cary, there he is, Ruth, your dad. He's coming this way. Shh, now, take hold of yourself now and play it like I said. Shh. Well, if it ain't Bert Freeling. Say hiya, Bert.
Hello.
Oh, come on over and join us, Bert.
Well, if you two don't mind.
Not at all, sir. Do join us.
Well, Ruth, I want you to meet an old buddy of mine, Bert Freeling. He used to be on the force with me. This is Ruth Jennings.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Little lady's from Indiana, Bert.
Yeah, that's so? Here on a pleasure visit, miss?
No, not exactly, Mr. Freeling. A visit, but...
But it hasn't exactly been a pleasure, I guess she means, Bert.
Oh, why not?
Oh, it's just that I came to New York looking for someone, and I can't find him. Tomorrow I'm going back home. That's that. I'd rather not talk about it, Mr. Freeling, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Jennings.
She needs cheering up, Bert. I'm taking her to a nightclub this evening. Nothing fancy. Hey, wait, what are you doing tonight? Why not come along?
I'm sorry, Danny,
Oh, yes, Mr. Freeling, why don't you? Why not the three of us?
What exactly is troubling you, Miss Jennings? Who are you looking for?
Well, come along tonight, and maybe I'll tell you.
Oh, why do you want me along?
Well, because you're a friend of the lieutenant's, and he's been so kind to me. Because you've seen the type of gentleman that I'd like to talk to on my last night in New York.
You can't back out after that now, can you, Bert? It's a date then, tonight. The three of us. Listen, Jennings, she'll be back in a minute, so let me give it to you straight. Tell her who you are now. She's got a right to know. It wouldn't make any difference. She likes you.
She'd hate me if she knew.
Oh.
I'd lose her altogether. I'd ruin her life, her chances for happiness. She's getting married. If the boy's family ever knew... Oh, no, Lieutenant, the important thing is...
You're her dad, and she's your daughter. Can anything be more important than that?
Shh, here she comes.
Oh, Lieutenant, Mr. Freeling, notice what they're playing? It's an old-fashioned waltz. Mr. Freeling, I know it isn't a girl's place to ask a gentleman, but you haven't danced with me all evening.
Well, I'm not a young man. I haven't danced in years, I'm afraid. All right, Miss Jennings, with great pleasure.
I'm so happy you came along with Lieutenant Clover tonight,
Why, Ruth?
because somehow it's been so good to be with you. I somehow felt that I'd known you all my life.
Ruth,
Yes?
I'd like to kiss you.
I'd like that very much. Please do.
I hope you didn't mind. I'm an old man. I could have had a daughter your age.
I had a father your age.
I'm sorry about your father, Ruth. I mean, that story you just told me about your reason for coming to New York.
What do you think my chances are of finding him someday, Mr. Freeling?
From what you've told me, pretty slim. I don't think you ever will.
I feel a bit faint, Mr. Freeling. I'm sorry. Please take me back to the table.
Hey, now what happened? You didn't finish that waltz.
Well, Danny, Ruth suddenly felt a bit faint.
Well, it was silly of me. I don't know what came over me for a moment. I'm really perfectly all right now.
Well, Bert, you certainly seem to have made a hit with our little friend here.
Mr. Jennings is a charming gentleman, Lieutenant.
Oh, say, excuse me, folks. I clean forgot. I got a phone in at the station house. Should have done it long ago.
There goes the kindest man I've ever met.
He certainly is.
Mr. Freeling, I wonder if I could ask a favor of you.
What is it, Ruth?
I received a wire from my fiancé a few hours ago. He's decided to fly to New York and join me here for a few days. That means that I'll be staying on a while after all. Mr. Freeling?
Yes, Ruth?
I'd like you to meet my Johnny and tell me what you think of him.
Me? But why me?
Because I've taken such a liking to you. You see, I have no parents to advise me. You seem like such an intelligent man. You seem, well, everything that I'd like my father to be. I wish you'd see my fiancé when he arrives and tell me whether you approve.
Yes, but see here, I'm hardly the one to do that, Ruth. It's not my place, after all.
I see. I'm sorry if I imposed.
Well, not at all, Ruth. It's not that I'm not flattered. I do admire you so, the short time I've known you. Such a lovely young lady, everything I could wish a daughter of mine to be, but...
But?
Now, if you ask me anything else, I do wish you all the happiness in the world. And if there's anything else I could do...
No, Mr. Freeling, I just wanted your opinion about the man I'm going to marry. But skip it. It's all right.
Is he, this young man of yours, coming alone? That is, his folks won't be with him?
Oh, he's coming alone.
Oh, I see. Well, now, I'll tell you what, Ruth. Since, as you say, you have no mother or father to consult, and since it's only natural for you to want some friend whose judgment you rely on to...
Then you will?
Yes, I will.
Well, Captain, I got that matter that...
Clover, I understand you got that matter that Judge Summers called you about straightened out.
It was the best I could do, Captain. Don't you approve?
I'm not sure, Lieutenant. Hardly the way Missing Persons Bureau would have tackled it, but since Judge Summers seems pleased, then that's that.
Well, what angle's worrying you, Captain?
Clover, if the girl's boyfriend finds out who this Mr. Freeling is, he'll leave her flat. And if Nelson Jennings ever learns you've wised up his daughter to his real identity, against his wishes, he'll flatten you.
Well, no solution could have been perfect, Captain. I believe that I
Where's
found
her boyfriend due in town?
Well, sometime this afternoon. Oh, now, look, Captain, I've made two people happy.
You're still out on a limb, Clover.
A girl isn't entitled to know her own father. And he isn't entitled to see his daughter after 10 long years in stir. I brought them together for a while, so what? He doesn't know, she knows, and they're real pals. It was the best I could do under the circumstances, but it was something. Almost a happy ending. Clover speaking.
You'll never guess who the pie wagon just blew in, Lieutenant.
Yeah? Who, Sergeant?
Friend of yours, Nelson Jennings.
Nelson Jennings.
Yep. Beat up a complainant named Frank Black. Booked him on assault and battery.
Assault and battery.
Had 5 years for violation of parole, and the poor guy...
Oh, no. This same thing happened 10 years ago. Now it started all over again. He'll go back to prison.
Tonight on CBS, you can hear about a man who believes you should never run to work when you can walk. A man who believes you should never walk to work when you can just stay home and think about it and keep your feet healthy. His name is, of course, Mr. Jack Benny, and he will be heard on the same CBS stations to no one's great surprise, but to everyone's delight. And now back to Broadway's My Beat and Lieutenant Danny Clover.
Why did you do it, Jennings?
Oh, leave me alone.
You must have had a reason why. You invade a hotel room at the Cleveland, take a poke at a guest named Frank Black. He calls the police. What happened? He claims he doesn't even know you. Why did you go there? What did you have against him? Who is he? What did he ever do to you?
Oh, leave me alone. Leave me alone, Lieutenant.
Do you realize what a jam you're in? It'll mean 5 more years for parole violations. Come on, talk, Jennings. Tell me for the love of heaven, and maybe somehow I can help you.
Oh, everyone's at me. Everyone wants to know, but it's no use. Talking won't help. Send me back. Send me back.
Judge Summers, it's about Nelson Jennings I'd like to see about, sir. I understand his case comes up before you tomorrow, and I don't know why he did it, but, Judge, if any guy deserves
Lieutenant Clover, we both wasted our time showing sympathy for that man. He'll never learn a lesson with that hot temper of his.
But, Your Honor, if he just...
10 years, it seems, wasn't enough. And I was beginning to think I'd been too hard on him.
But, Judge...
No use standing, no use. My mind's made up. He'll get the limit this time.
Couple of those perfectos, Sally.
Right, Lieutenant Clover. What's up? You look low.
No mood for conversation, lover.
Get that gratitude. And just when I was just about to throw you a little dirt on that Nelson Jennings case, too.
Well, then I love you very madly. Come on, give.
Well, remember you were in here a little while ago asking me what do I know about a guy stopping here named Frank Black?
Yeah, sure, I remember that.
The guy who had Jennings arrested?
Yeah?
And I answered you, I didn't know anything about him. Didn't even know what he looked like.
Go on.
Well, when you described him to me, nothing clicked.
Yeah, go on.
Well, now something clicks.
What?
A man of that description bought a cigar off of me here yesterday, and he was very inquisitive.
So?
Well, I don't know whether this will help you any, Danny, or how it fits in, but, well, this guy asks me questions like, is Miss Ruth Jennings registered at this hotel?
What? He did? Well, go on, Sally, I'm listening.
Well, I tell him, yeah, she is. And then he says, is her father named Nelson Jennings? Naturally, I says, search me.
Oh,
and
lover,
then he
I
says,
think I'm beginning to do a slow 2 and 2.
hey, where you off to, Danny? What's up?
I'll see you, lover, thanks. I gotta add it up at the station house, see if it comes out 4. Well, Sergeant, did you check on Frank Black? Turn up anything?
Your hunch was right, Lieutenant Clover. He ain't Frank Black. He's Frank Blakey, an ex-con released from Sing Sing at about the same time Nelson Jennings was.
Yeah? Well, how about that now? And the pieces fit all right. I think I'll drop in again on friend Jennings. Yeah, I think he'll be about ready to talk to me now. Come on now, Jennings, fella B, you may as well give now. I got a pretty good idea why you did it, but I want it from you. Jennings, if I tell you that scummy Blakey was asking around about your daughter, will that make you talk?
And I guess you have it, Lieutenant.
He was trying to blackmail you, wasn't he?
Yes. And to think he was the one prison inmate I trusted. He knew the secret I was trying to keep from my daughter. Well, this morning I got a phone call from him, threatening that unless I come across, he'll tell my daughter just who her missing father is and to expose my prison record. So I went to his room to argue him out of it. I saw red, Lieutenant. Will I be sent up again?
I don't know, Jennings. I'm not the judge. You should have reported to the police, but I'm with you 100%. I'll see that all your evidence gets in. Who knows? Maybe the judge will temper justice with mercy anyway. Keep your fingers crossed.
But I want to attend his trial, Lieutenant Clover.
And I'm advising you against it, Ruth.
I could only go to Dad and tell him that I know everything and that no matter what
If
happens...
you did that, it would kill him, Ruth.
Oh, do you think the judge will send him to prison again?
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that's in the cards.
Oh.
See, the judge is mighty disturbed about it all. Oh, your father had plenty of provocation, but he shouldn't have taken the law into his own hands. Suppose you just wait right here and pray for a miracle.
And so, to sum up, Your Honor, in view of this felonious assault by Defendant Jennings against the person of this innocent complaining witness, the state of New York feels confident that Your Honor will remand the defendant to state prison, there to serve his remaining 5-year sentence as fitting punishment for this vicious, this reprehensible violation of his parole.
Is that the state's case?
It is, Your Honor.
Is Detective Lieutenant Danny Clover in the courtroom?
Lieutenant Clover.
Yeah? Will you step up here to the bench a moment, Lieutenant?
Oh, sure, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Danny, recently I turned this man Jennings over to you for the judgment of Solomon.
Yes, sir.
You did a good job on that. Now, I'd like to know your opinion of this case before me. I'm inclined to discredit Blakey's story and to believe Jennings, to hold Blakey on charges, to view the whole act as just provocation, amounting to self-defense, as though a gun were being held at his head. And with respect to Defendant Jennings...
Yes, Your Honor.
...to temper justice with mercy. What do you say, Clover?
What do I say? You do that, Your Honor. You do that. This is where he lives, Ruth. He's a free man now, like I said. He asked me to bring you here. He wants to tell you something.
Lieutenant Clover, what shall I say? I mean...
Shh, now just let nature take its course. Shh.
Mr. Freeling...
No, Ruth. Not Mr. Freeling. There's something I've decided to tell you at last. You see, I'm...
Daddy!
Ruth!
Daddy, I've known all along.
Ruth, oh, my darling. Lieutenant Clover. Oh, Danny, how can I ever thank you?
Oh, Lieutenant Clover, yes, you've been so wonderful.
Don't thank me. Thank Solomon. Like I said, I was betting on nature to take its course. It always has, and it always will. A warm May breeze now filtering down the side streets. Nah, you won't see May flowers growing anywhere along Broadway, but somehow other things do bloom once in a while, even here. Like, well, kindness where you least expect it. Yeah, even here along the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world. Broadway, my beat.
Columbia has just brought you Broadway's My Beat, with Anthony Ross as Detective Danny Clover. Jean Carson was Sally, Nancy Franklin was Ruth, Charles Penman was Jennings, and Julian Noah was Judge Summers. Others in the cast were Paul Luther and Art Carney. Today's broadcast was written by Joseph Roscoe, produced by John Dietz, and directed by Bruno Zerato, Jr. The musical score was composed and conducted by Robert Stringer. This is Bern Bennett speaking. He may be a close neighbor of yours, or at least he lives quite near you. You go to the polls, you elect him, you bid him farewell, trusting him to represent you in Washington. From then on, what happens to your congressman in the nation's capital? What pressures are brought to bear on him? In how many hundreds of fields must he rapidly become an expert? Why does he vote as he does? Tonight on CBS, you'll hear Ralph Bellamy, star of radio, stage, and screen, playing a typical freshman congressman in the 81st Congress. His story will be a drama taken from interviews and talks with many regular congressmen, with Washington experts, with politicians, with voters like yourselves. This CBS documentary unit drama, The People's Choice, starring Ralph Bellamy, will come to you tonight over most of these same CBS network stations. Now stay tuned for the Family Hour, starring Miss Ginger Rogers, which follows immediately over most of these stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
National Broadcasting Company presents The Magnificent Montague, starring Monty Woolley. In 1926, reviewing Edwin Montague's great performance in King Lear, Burns Mantle referred to him as the Magnificent Montague. Edwin never forgave Burns Mantle for that understatement. Today, still happily married to his one-time leading lady, Lily Boehm, Edwin Montague courageously remains true to his conviction that he is the world's greatest actor. In the last 8 years, he's refused to act in any play in which he did not have the starring role. In the last 8 years, he's refused to be in any drama in which he did not have the privilege of rewriting and directing personally. In the last 8 years, he hasn't worked. But Edwin Montague knows that there will be a return of that golden era of the New York stage and Shakespeare. And when that time comes... By the way, the time right now is 2 in the afternoon, and we're in the Montague apartment.
Okay. Take it easy. You'll last longer. The residence of Edwin Montague and Miss Lily Boehm, they ain't up yet. Who knows when? They're actors. It could be 10 minutes. It could be next Tuesday. Who knows?
Oh, I'll take it, Agnes.
Here, honey.
Please get me some coffee. Hello, Charlie? Well, I really haven't asked Edwin yet. You see... Now, wait, Charlie. I promise I'll ask him as soon as he gets up. And what's more, you can tell them he'll take the job. Yes. Goodbye.
Here's your coffee, honey.
Agnes, what do you think? My husband, Edwin Montague, is going to work.
You're kidding.
No.
This is the end of one of the world's biggest non-profit organizations.
Agnes, you'll see. He'll be easier to get along with. He'll be a changed man.
Yeah, I guess so. Still, it was kind of fascinating watching him gracefully slide from unemployment insurance into Social Security. So he found a play, huh?
Well, it's not a play. He's going into radio. Agnes, my coffee. Oh, leave some dishes for him to smash when I tell him about it.
Radio. And he doesn't know yet. Uh-uh.
Agnes, a job will snap him out of this dream he has that he's still the foundation of the American theater. Otherwise, he'll spend the rest of his life sitting around the proscenium club with those broken-down hams.
You mean the rest of the broken-down hams?
Agnes, that'll be quite enough.
The big matinee idol. The Sinatra of the 20s. The way he lords it around this house.
Agnes, stop.
The great Montague, the great windbag.
Stop.
The big actor. And all the time it was you who had more acting talent than he ever hoped to have.
Go on.
You know what, honey?
What?
You're a bigger ham than he is.
I never doubted it. Oh, now, please, Agnes, no fights with him this morning. Everything's got to go right. Did you get his imported kippers?
I could only get the domestic kippers.
Oh, well. They're the same, aren't they?
Identical. They taste the same, smell the same, feel the same.
Good.
But he'll know the difference. I never seen such a lowlife who lives so high.
Agnes, please.
English kippers, British clothes, imported shoes. What's he trying to do, single-handedly pull England out of the red?
Agnes, just this morning, don't say anything that will irritate him.
He's up.
Get his breakfast ready. He's doing his morning vocal exercises already. That means he's finished combing his beard.
Oh, brother, he takes care of that beard like a chorus girl with her first mink. Now we'll start roaming the hills.
I roam the hills.
Quick, Agnes, here he comes. Good morning, Edwin. Sit down.
I roam the hills, Good morning, Lily.
He made it.
Good morning, Agnes. I see you got here this morning. I suppose you arrived by your usual means of transportation, a broom.
Edwin, please. It's such a beautiful day, and I must say you look so dashing this morning, doesn't he, Agnes?
Oh, I think he's a dream.
Agnes.
Agnes, my dear Agnes, it is a little early to start debating our respective beauty. All I can say is that after 25 years of having to look at your face before eating breakfast, there can be but one epitaph on my tombstone. Edwin Montague, he had a strong stomach.
Please, no no quarrels. Look, Edwin, Agnes fixed your breakfast just the way you like it.
Well, there must be a first time.
Here, Edwin, your raw egg and Worcestershire sauce, kippered herring, a broiled veal kidney, 2 mutton chops rare, and au gratin potatoes.
The breakfast of champions.
Excellent. Now, you go ahead and eat, Edwin. Oh, by the way, Charlie Foster telephoned this morning. He feels that he has at last found the most... What's the matter?
Domestic kippers.
Edwin!
Domestic kippers. What is this place becoming? A white tower? This is another of Agnes's attempts to poison me. Look at that kipper. It looks awful.
What do you think the kipper's thinking about, looking up at you?
Now, listen, Miss Housemaid's knee of 19 or 2. If you...
Edwin, we couldn't get imported kippers this morning. Now, will you please let me go on?
Sorry, dear. Go on. How about Charlie, yeah?
Now, I don't want you to be shocked.
Shocked? Nothing could shock me after that excitement we had at the Proscenium Club last night. We had to drum Cecil Banks out of the organization.
Oh, poor old Cecil. What did he do?
We found out Cecil's going into radio.
Radio?
Yes, please don't make me repeat that word again. Cecil Banks, another deserter of the theater. I was up until 3 a.m, striking out all reference to him in my memoirs.
Another name gone.
Radio! Better to dig ditches than that. Oh, now, what's this about Charlie Foster?
Well, Edwin, Charlie Foster has a job for you. The starring role.
I knew it. They finally found a Juliet for me.
It's not Romeo and Juliet.
It's not? Oh.
No. You see, this job that Charlie has for you is...
Imagine, in all New York, they can't find a Juliet. If you only hadn't let yourself go, but continue, darling. Tell me about the job. Well?
Edwin, what did you mean by, if I just hadn't let myself go?
Oh, now, Lily, I didn't mean your looks or your going to seed or anything like that.
Well, just what did you mean?
Well, I meant, you found new interests. Every afternoon, you're busy as secretary of the Women's Bird Watchers of America. That's all I meant.
Oh.
Why, Lily, honey, you're still as charming and as captivating as the day I first picked you out of the chorus of the naughty little princess and made you my leading lady. Now, what about this job?
Edwin, I honestly don't want to bring this up again. But once and for all, it's got to be settled between us. I was not in the chorus of the naughty little princess. I was the star.
Oh, no, not that again.
And you didn't pick me to be your leading lady. David Belasco had to talk me into it. You were known as the worst scene stealer on the American stage.
I, a scene stealer?
Let's face it, darling. I spent 5 years on the stage with you before I knew there was an audience. You so gallantly hid it from me.
Oh, so that's how you felt. This, then, is my penalty for loving an envious woman.
Envious? I never envied you, Edwin. I stood aside as you took your bows. I was content and happy. But in all decency, allow me the memory of the little success that I did have.
Say that again.
The whole thing?
No, just the end.
But allow me the memory of the little success that I did have.
Gad, what a reading. What resonance and fire. Oh, Lily, you've still got it, old girl. You've still got it.
Bravo, bravo.
Stop it, both of them.
Go ahead, darling. Anything you want me to do. Just
anything?
Yes.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Edwin, this job Charlie has for you is, of course, the starring role.
Yes. Well, what is it?
An afternoon radio program.
Excuse me, I have a pretzel in the oven.
Stay here.
It had to be my own wife who said that. It couldn't have been a stranger. A stranger I could strangle, crush, and trample into the ground for suggesting that I, Edwin Montague, go into radio.
But, Edwin...
Silence! Edwin Montague in radio? Never! Not as long as there is breath in my body.
Well, you'd better have breath in your body, because unless you get a job, there'll be no food in it.
You mean our money is gone?
Darling, what do you think I've been using for the last 8 years to pay for your imported kippers? Your imported cigar bands? Now, this radio job.
Radio! No, I'll dig ditches first.
Edwin, what is this newfound confidence you have in digging ditches? The only time you ever held a shovel was in the play Hill of Gold, and then on opening night you used the wrong end.
Oh, Lily, anything but radio. My friends at the Presidian Club will stone me.
The Shalimar Soap Company will pay $200 a week. No one will know it's you. There will be absolutely no publicity.
Oh, no, Lily, I can't. Not radio. That's what killed the stage. If I must sell soap, let me at least maintain my pride and do it from door to door.
Edwin, are you going to take the job?
To be or not to be, that is the problem.
That is the question.
That is the question. Whether...
Edwin, yes or no? Well?
No one will know it's me?
Nobody.
Of course, you know, if the news leaks out that I'm in radio, I shall automatically commit suicide.
Naturally. Well, Edwin?
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt and resolve itself.
Thaw and resolve itself.
Thaw and...
Edwin, are you going to take the job?
To be or not to be.
Edwin, it pays $200 a week.
The starring role?
You play a character called Uncle Goodheart.
Uncle... Death, where is thy sting?
Well, Edwin, yes or no?
I must bow to the fates. Yes.
Edwin, I'm proud of you. I'll call Charlie.
Please. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'll retire to my study where I'm going to make the final revision on my memoirs. I am going to strike my own name out of it.
Have you the orange juice?
Got it.
Black coffee?
It's all here.
You're sure it's 8 o'clock?
It's 5 after. You gonna wake him up?
Here goes. Edwin, darling, time to get up and go to the radio station for your first program.
Try again. Put some beef in it.
Edwin, darling, it's time to get up. Help me out, Agnes.
Okay, you take one ear, I'll take the other.
Let's go.
Edwin, darling, it's time to get up.
Wait. He's stirring.
What's happened? What is it?
Time to get up, darling. It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock? Gad, I've overslept.
No, dear, you don't understand. It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Morning? Well, that's ridiculous. Look, it's dark. The sun shines in the morning. I read that in a book somewhere.
Now, sit up, sweetheart. Agnes, the black coffee.
Right.
I hope it's still hot.
It is here.
All right. Now, Edwin, this coffee... Edwin? Edwin? Come on, Agnes.
Edwin, darling, it's time to get up.
Oh, Lily, this is ridiculous. Why, even as a baby, I never got up until noon.
Now, just drink this coffee, sweet.
Lily, I can't be seen at this hour. They'll think I'm a burglar.
And you have to be at the studio at 9. Now, no more nonsense. Agnes, the brown suit, a white shirt, and brown tie.
Coming up.
Now the shoes and socks.
Here, honey.
Thank you. All right, Edwin, you dress what... Edwin? Once more, Agnes.
Edwin, darling, it's time to get up.
All right, I'm up.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is the night for the return of Duffy's Tavern. Your host will be the ungrammatical Archie, played by Ed Gardner. Duffy won't be there as usual, but he will be represented by his undeniably charming daughter, Miss Duffy. Clifton Finnegan and Eddie the waiter will also be on hand to join in the mischief, which Archie will undoubtedly cook up. The chimes are your invitation to top Friday evening listening later tonight with Duffy's Tavern over most of these NBC stations. And a reminder, this Sunday on NBC, it's the big show once again, an hour and a half of the best in comedy, music, and drama. And now let's listen to the magnificent Montague at his first radio rehearsal.
Hold it, cast. Before I start directing you in the first rehearsal of Uncle Goodhart, Mr. Springer, our head of production, would like to say a few words. Mr. Springer.
Thank you, Mr. Zinzer. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be brief. Our sponsor is the Shalimar Soap Company. We go on the air directly opposite our biggest competitor's program, Aunt Agatha. Our program, Uncle Goodhart, must be a weapon. A weapon that will strike so hard, so true, that it'll wipe Aunt Agatha off the air lanes. It's up to you. Carry on.
Okay, cast. Let's rehearse it right from the...
Excuse me, but isn't this all a waste of time?
A waste of time, Mr.
Yes,
Montague?
before rehearsal, I'd like to take a few weeks to work out the character and sit with the writers and develop
A few weeks to... Mr. Montague, this program goes on the air in half an hour.
Half an hour? You mean every week I have...
Every week? 5 times a week.
5 times? Oh, not with me, you don't. What am I, a jukebox?
Mr. Montague, this is radio.
What's up? Any trouble?
Well, nothing, Mr. Springer. This is Mr. Edwin Montague, our Uncle Goodhart.
Now, how do you do?
I was explaining certain things to Mr. Montague. He's new in radio.
What? You in radio? Zinzer, for the leading role on a program as important as this, you use an unknown amateur?
An unknown amateur? Why, you filthy little...
Mr. Montague, this filthy little... this is Mr. Springer, the producer who...
Zinzer, I demand...
But, Mr. Springer, Mr. Montague is one of the great actors of the legitimate stage. It was a stroke of sheer luck to get him as Uncle Goodhart.
Oh? Sorry I offended you, old man. Personally, I never go to plays. I always say, give me the movies. You see the best actors and they let you smoke in the balcony.
The movies. My dear sir, it's men with brains like yours that make morons overconfident.
Rehearsal. Okay, cast, let's go. No music, just a dry run. Bartley and Melissa, drive up. Sound.
That must be the cottage over there, Bartley.
Do you think he's home?
Oh, he's got to be. It's our only hope. Oh, look. That must be he coming to meet us. Hello, Uncle Goodhart.
Hello, and bless you.
Hold it. Mr. Montague, you were off mic.
Off mic?
Yes. Please speak into the microphone.
Thank you, but I don't use a microphone.
Yes. Let's take it from... I beg your pardon, Mr. Montague?
I said I don't use a microphone.
You don't use a microphone?
My good man, this may seem strange to you, but I come from an era of the theater where an actor's voice did not need the aid of these artificial doodads in order to be heard. My voice projection is famous, you know.
But, Mr.
Never! The voice that has shaken the very last Rosemary Theater in New York refuses to be party to this mechanical subterfuge.
Mr. Montague, radio...
Never.
Now. What's the trouble?
Oh, nothing, Mr. Springer. It's just that Mr. Montague doesn't want to use the microphone.
Now, if he doesn't want to use the... He doesn't want to use the microphone. He doesn't want to use the microphone.
I assure you I can be heard without a microphone.
How about the people in Denver? Zinzer, I hold you personally responsible.
Please, Mr. Montague, ever since I saw you in Macbeth when I was just a child, you've been my idol. Please trust me when I say, in radio, you have to speak into a microphone.
Well, very well. So you saw me in Macbeth, eh? Remember this? I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and be baited with a rabble's curse. I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff! Huh?
Wonderful, wasn't it, Mr. Springer?
Zinzer, remember when I said without a microphone they wouldn't hear him in Denver?
Yeah?
I think he could do it.
But we we'd better get on. Mr. Montague, we'll take it from where Melissa and Bartley approach you. Page 5.
Page 5. Here it is. That must be the cottage over there, Bartley.
Do you think he's home?
Oh, he's got to be. It's our only hope. Oh, look. That must be he coming to meet us. Hello, Uncle Goodhart.
Hello, and bless you, my children. Why, as I live and breathe, if it isn't Zeke Chickering's little girl, Melissa.
Oh, Uncle Goodhart.
And mercy be, child, for the way you're blushing, I'll bet this tall, good-looking fellow with you is your beau. Now, fess up. Fess up.
Please, Mr. Montague.
Fess up. I should very much like to meet the writer of this epic. I've never seen a 3-year-old operate a typewriter before.
Please, Mr. Montague, we're trying to get a timing. Your line, Bartley.
I am Bartley Boswell, Uncle Goodhart. Doc Boswell's son.
Oh, Uncle Goodhart, something terrible has happened. Bartley and I can't get married.
Now, come, child. We must look at the sunny side.
Hold it! Mr. Montague, you'll have to speed that up a little.
Speed it up?
Yeah. When you see me twirl my index finger like this, it means speed it up.
Your index finger? Mr. Zinser, I am an actor, not an orchestra. And I refuse to be conducted like a 3-piece band. I shall read it as I feel it, and you keep your finger out of it.
But Mr. Montague, the character...
Young man, are you telling me, Edwin Montague, how to read a character?
All I was...
You, a radio director. The lowest point a man can sink to and still stay out of jail for vagrancy. You dare to do what even the great Velasco never presumed to do? Tell Edwin Montague how to play a character?
1 minute to our time.
1 minute. Mr. Montague, the script is timed for a certain speed. You must fit into it.
I fit into this anthology of cliches. It must fit into me.
Zinser, get rid of this troublemaker.
I'm going.
30 seconds.
Where's my hat?
Mr. Montague, we're going on the air.
It's a gray Homburg with a green feather.
Sabotage! That's what it is.
Mr. Montague, you can't walk out.
I won't. I'll run.
Shalimar Soap brings you Uncle Goodhart.
He was sent here by Sapperoni Soap. He's a dirty spy.
Oh, you swine. I'll pull your nose off and let the air out of your head.
Quiet, please. We find gentle, kind, lovable Uncle Goodhart seated on the steps of his little vine-covered cottage, waiting to give comfort and counsel to the weary traveler. Listen.
Zinser, the show's begun. Mr. Montague, do the character any way you want to.
Any way? Very well.
That must be the cottage over there, Bartley.
Do you think he's home?
Oh, he's got to be. It's our only hope. Oh, look. That must be he coming to meet us. Hello, Uncle Goodhart.
Your cue, Mr. Montague, your cue. Here's your script.
Who needs a script? Hello, and bless you, my children, why, as I live and breathe. If it isn't Zeke Chickering's little saber-toothed offspring, Melissa. And without a leash.
Oh, no.
I'll kill him. I'll shoot him down in cold blood.
Why, Uncle Goodhart, you remember me.
Only because you're absolutely impossible to forget. And who is this with you? This creature with the pre-shrunk head?
I'm Bartley Boswell, Uncle Goodhart, the Doc Boswell's son.
Oh, Uncle Goodhart, something terrible has happened. Bartley and I can't get married.
Well, I don't know which one of you to congratulate first. Still, it would have been an extraordinary match.
Get back, Mr. Springer.
Let go of me, Ginger. Let me at him.
Agnes, that sounds awful. What else did he say on the program?
Then he tells this Bartley and this Melissa there's only one solution for their problem. Get married, buy a little home, move in, and turn on the gas.
Turn on the gas?
So help me. At the end of the show, they made an announcement. The ideas expressed on this program are not necessarily those of any human being.
I'm so afraid something's happened to him. It's been an hour since his program was over.
Maybe he's in jail. There must be a law against what he did to the air.
Agnes, this is no time. Shh, here he comes. Edwin, what happened? Well, it's been over an hour.
Sorry I'm late, dear. I had to keep circling and backtracking to shake them off my trail.
Well, the phone's been ringing continually. A Mr. Zinzer and a Mr. Springer have been trying to get you.
Lily, you didn't tell them where we live.
Now, Edwin.
I think Springer carries a gun. I saw him reaching for something as he lunged at me when I ran out of the studio.
Well, he should have caught you. I was at the birdwatcher's office, but Agnes heard the program.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Even...
Even...
Oh, Lily, after what I did to it, radio can never recover. The theater shall live again.
Oh, Agnes, there's someone at the door. Edwin, how could you have done
I struck a blow for the theater. I stand here brave and unafraid.
It's the Mr. Zinzer and Mr. Springer.
Lily, you have to hide me.
Show the gentleman in.
This way, boys. Check your hardware.
Now, look here, Springer. The man who brought you up the elevator is a Golden Gloves champ. I can have him here in 2 seconds.
Mr. Montague, if you wish me to crawl at your feet, command me.
Crawl at my feet?
Mr. Montague, will you ever forgive my horrible presumption in trying to tell you, the master, how to play a character?
What is it? If you wish me to kiss your boots, command me.
Look, if you came up here just to make love to my feet, you're wasting...
Mr. Montague, the moment Uncle Goodhart went off the air, the telephone switchboard at the station lit up like a Christmas tree.
Listeners all over the country are still calling to tell us at last a real down-to-earth character's been heard on radio.
A real?
Why, man, you hit the nation with the impact of a howitzer.
I did?
How could we have been so blind? It was you with your unerring dramatic sense who knew that the public wanted a contrast to the sweet, kindly, sentimental old homey radio characters.
You gave them something new. A salty, down-to-earth, real, living Uncle Goodhart.
It's the greatest thing since Just Plain Bill.
Just plain who?
One man telephoned all the way from Council Bluffs, Iowa, just to say, yuck, yuck, yuck.
It's sweeping the country.
Gad.
Come, Zinzer. We must let Uncle Goodhart rest so he can reach new heights in tomorrow's episode.
See you in the morning, Mr. Montague.
Silly, they're crazy. They're madmen. People listened to that horrible thing I did, and they liked it.
The magnificent Montague does it again.
What have I done? What have I done?
Well, whatever you did, dream boy, keep doing it. It means imported kippers from now on.
Lily, you've missed the whole point.
The whole point?
Yes, it just struck me. There I was doing my best to be bad, and I couldn't. What came out was great.
Well, of course.
Lily, I suspected it for many years, but now at last I know. I am truly magnificent.
Tune in next week and find out what happens when the magnificent Montague and radio meet head-on. Remember, next week, same time, same station, it's the magnificent Montague starring Monty Woolley, created and written by Nat Hiken.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Suspense.
Presented by Roma Wines, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. Salud.
Your health, senor.
The world toasts Roma, and Roma toasts the world. The wine for your table is Roma, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
This is the Man in Black, here for Roma Wines to introduce this weekly half hour of Suspense. Tonight in Hollywood, we are honored and happy to have with us one of the entertainment world's most distinguished gentlemen, Mr. Cary Grant. The suspense play which stars Cary Grant and which is produced and directed by William Spear is the exciting and tense bestseller by Cornell Woolrich called The Black Curtain. Suspense is compounded of mystery and suspicion and dangerous adventure. In this series, Roma brings you tales calculated to intrigue you, to stir your nerves, to offer you a precarious situation and then withhold the solution until the last possible moment. And so, with The Black Curtain and with the performance of Cary Grant, we again hope to keep you in suspense.
It began, or rather life began again for me, I guess you'd say, that day, on that street. My head was pounding terribly. I could hear all the noise and the people milling around. Everything was a jumble at first.
Gangway there now. Let the doc through.
I seen it happen, Mr. Policeman. He was running. Boy, he really gave himself a clunk on the beat.
All right, son. Now get back there. Everybody back there.
Oh, my head.
His wallet fell out of his pocket, and a big boy grabbed it and ran away. He
All
went up...
right, now back, everybody. Let the doctor through. Give him air here.
I'm okay. No, never mind, Doc. I'm okay. Seems to be nothing much the matter with you, sir. No, I'm all right.
I guess I can talk to him now, Doc?
Oh, go ahead, officer. Just a bad bump on the head, I think. That's right. We can walk all right, can't you? Yeah, I think so. Sure. Here, now let me breath you on. Huh? Thanks. Oh, I'll be fine. Hey, wait a minute. What am I doing with an overcoat on?
All right now, mister. Just so they got it on the blotter. What's your name? Where do you live?
Townsend. Frank Townsend. 820 Rutherford Street. Want a cigarette? You're still shaky. No, thanks. I don't smoke. Well, I was getting back then. Drop in at the receiving hospital if you want us to check you off. Huh? Yeah, I will.
Hey, here's your hat, mister. I found it.
Oh, thanks,
That's
kid.
all. Now, come on. Move along. The guy's all right. Come on. Oh, well, thanks. I'm sorry about the fellow that got your wallet. Anyway, here's your cigar case, Mr. Townsend. Guy found it right alongside of you.
Hey, wait a minute. This isn't my hat. DN. Those aren't my initials, DN.
Sure, that's your hat. I seen it roll off you when you went down. Try it on. You see, it fits. Looks good.
Yeah. But what am I doing with a cigar case? DN. Same initials as the hat.
Don't you even know your own hat, mister?
Wait a minute. I'm trying to think. Where is this?
What?
This street.
You're on Tillery Street.
Tillery Street? What am I doing on Tillery Street?
He's lost.
All right now, sir. My suggestion is that you go on home and go lie down. It's cold and starting to snow.
No, please, wait a minute. Don't leave me. Tell me. What happened?
Why, you slipped on this icy sidewalk. Fell down and hit your head good and hard on the curb. You were out for about 20 minutes and then
Wait. Ice on the sidewalk?
Well, look at it. That street cleaning department ought to clear away the snow there, too.
Snow and ice?
Sure, why?
Snow? In July?
July? Why, it's December. December 1943.
1943?
You better go on home, son. Good night.
1943? December 1943. The last I remember was July 1940. 3 years just gone. Amnesia. A black curtain comes down over your mind. That black curtain had been over mine for 3 years. Where had I been? Who had I been? I hadn't been Frank Townsend. I'd been someone else. DN. Someone whose initials were DN. I walked along Tillery Street thinking about it those 3 years. I could have been married. I could have been a thief. I could have... Something made me turn around on the street for a moment. That was when I first saw him. Gray Eyes. He'd been talking to the cop who took my name. He looked up as I did. And then he started to walk rapidly in my direction. I backed away instinctively. Something about him spelled trouble. He called to me as he came forward.
Hey, you, stop! Townsend!
Instinctively, I knew I should run, get away from him.
Hey, you!
I looked back as I rounded the corner. He had a gun in his hand. He raised it. Then I turned, ran for my life.
What lay behind that black curtain which separated Townsend from his past? With this remarkable story, and with Hollywood's distinguished Cary Grant as our star, the Roma Wine Company of Fresno, California, tonight assumes the sponsorship of Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills.
This is the dinner hour at an exclusive yacht club in Latin America, and we discreetly eavesdrop on that gentleman and his lady there at the table.
This has been a lovely dinner, Ramon, and only you would have thought to have such a delicious wine as the finale. It was so perfect. Is it truly a wine from California in North America?
Yes, see? This is the noted Roma port of California in the United States. We were fortunate to have it tonight, for now, in time of war, only occasional ships can bring us Roma wines. I knew that you would.
Fortunate? Yes, for Roma wines please the exacting tastes of wine lovers in many countries. And we in the United States are most fortunate of all, for we can enjoy any of those delicious wines from the famous Roma wineries located in choice wine districts throughout California at prices unbelievably small for wines of such distinguished character. Because we do not have to pay heavy shipping costs and duty, here at home in America, Roma wines cost only a few cents a glass. What's more, you'll find Roma California wines just around the corner at your favorite dealers. Right there, waiting for you now, the types of Roma wines you most enjoy. So if you haven't yet discovered the delight of Roma wine regularly with meals or when entertaining friends, make your first purchases of Roma tomorrow. R-O-M-A, Roma, America's largest selling wines. Made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
And now it is with pleasure that we bring back to our soundstage Mr. Cary Grant and The Black Curtain, a story well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Why was he following me? With a gun. What did Gray Eyes want with me? I must have done something. I beat it down the subway and hid. I had to think it all out carefully. I knew I was on the spot for something. Gray Eyes meant business. What could it be? Who had I been? During those last 3 years with that black curtain in front of them. Well, maybe I'd been a gangster, and he was one of a mob that wanted to rub me out. I didn't know. No identification, my wallet stolen. Nothing in my pockets that would help. Just DN in the hat. And DN on the cigar case. DN! My head was aching with worry. My stomach had panic in it. I had to find out who I'd been, what I'd done. But how? Where? Tillery Street. That's where I'd been when I woke up. Tillery Street. Well, maybe Gray Eyes would go back there, too, looking for me. But I had to take that chance. Tillery Street.
Yes?
Oh, good evening, Pop.
Oh, hello there. Couldn't see you under that hat at first.
Oh, you know me?
Sure. What can I get you, son?
Oh, well, you got an evening paper I could look at?
Nope. Sorry, never read 'em. Too much trouble in the world these days, anyhow. Say, how you been? You haven't been around 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, well, I've been kind of busy. Look, Pop.
Yeah?
I made a bet with a guy that even though you see so many customers, you'd walk right up and give me my full name.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry I don't know it. I don't think I ever heard your name.
Oh.
But I know your girl.
My girl?
Uh-huh.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
Well, now, maybe I can still win my bet if you'll give me her name.
Gee, I've heard you mention it. I'd know it if I heard it.
You what? Well, see if I can steer you a little. Now, is it Mary?
No.
Alice? Lillian? Margaret, huh?
No. Wait a minute. Wait. I know. Ruth. That's it, Ruth.
Ruth?
Yeah.
Well, sure, you got it. Now, what's Ruth's last name?
Gee, I don't know her. I know where she lives, though.
You do?
Yeah, right across the street, the Tillery Apartments.
Well, that's right. But now, what apartment? What's the number of Ruth's apartment?
3C. Apartment 3C. Say, that's pretty good if I do say so. I was only there once, remember? The night I brought the sandwiches over.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Will you win your bet, mister?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I think I will.
What's your name so I'll know it next time?
I'll tell you tomorrow. I hope.
So long.
So long, Pop. Thank you. I'll be...
What's the matter?
Nothing. I just tying my shoe. I'd just been going to walk out when I saw him standing across the street, gray eyes again. I ducked down behind the store window and watched him. He looked over in my direction and then up and down the street. Then he lit a cigarette and strolled down the corner. The minute he disappeared, I yanked the door open, dashed out, ran across the Tillery Apartments, and went in.
Who is it?
Ruth,
Yes?
it's me.
Dan! Oh, Danny, where have you been? Get in here. Oh, darling, it's really you. I thought you...
Hello, Ruth.
Oh, Danny, why did you come here? He's been around here twice today. He may be in the neighborhood right now, for all you know.
Who?
Oh, well, Slattery, of course.
Has he got gray eyes?
What? Yeah. Did you ever see a detective that didn't?
Oh, I see. Sure.
Danny, what's the matter with you? You're acting so strangely.
Well, I just want to look at you.
You seem so different, so far away. You haven't kissed me.
Well, that's easily fixed.
Oh, darling, where have you been for 3 weeks?
All around. Miss me?
You know I did. Oh, Danny, do you think we could get away tonight? I've got $3,000 saved up. We could go to Mexico or South America. We could get married. Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Nearing tour the world.
Daniel Nearing? Oh, yeah. And wife?
Sounds plenty good to me.
Oh, you'll never know how good.
We'll get out of here tonight. I'll call up and tell them I'm quitting my job. I'll say I'm sick. All my stuff's here. Nothing's out there but a couple of uniforms. I'll make Alma and Franklin a present of those.
Alma and Franklin?
Don't you bother your pretty head about those 2 charmers. Maybe they weren't glad when it happened. A couple of vultures. Bye-bye to them. Oh, with you back, Danny. Just think with my $3,000 we could...
Do you think you ought to quit your job?
Absolutely, I think so. I was never cut out to be a nurse anyway.
Oh, I guess you weren't. Any more than I was cut out.
Any more than you were meant to be a secretary.
That's right. Well, I never wanted to be a secretary. Just drifted into it, I guess. Kind of got on my nerves, especially toward the end. You know, the boss was no cinch to work for.
He certainly wasn't. He was a rat. The whole Dietrich bunch are mean, rotten. The whole family.
Yeah, that's right.
All except the old man.
Oh, yeah, the old man. I sort of liked him, didn't I?
And he loved you, Danny. I think he wished you'd been his son. Poor old man. He's the only reason I've stuck around out there this long.
How are things out there?
Oh, they've been questioning all of us. They've laid off lately, though, since you... Oh, Danny, don't let's talk any more about it. You're back. That's the main thing. I just want to forget New Jericho and the whole...
New Jericho, huh?
Yes. Oh, Danny. Danny, if only it hadn't happened.
What hadn't?
You know what? Oh, Danny, what's going to become of you and me?
I wish I knew.
Danny, get away from that window. Leave that shade down.
He's down there.
Who?
Gray eyes. He's standing in front of the hydrant. He's coming in here, in the building.
Oh, did he see you?
Ruth, will you help me?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to give myself up.
No.
Well,
you're...
it's better than getting shot at. What can they do to me?
You crazy fool, they can send you to the chair.
The chair?
Well, what do you think happens to a man when he's guilty of murder?
Murder? Ruth, listen to me. I'm not a murderer. If the whole world says I committed murder, I say I didn't. The me that's in me says I didn't.
I never said you were, Danny. I always said you didn't do it. Oh, if you hadn't run away.
So that's it.
All right, Nearing. Open up.
You come here, Danny. Why?
Ruth, quick. We got to get out of here. How about the fire escape shaft? Dumb waiter.
Dumb waiter. Here.
All right, get in. I'll stand on top and work the ropes.
I don't think it can hold us both.
Got to. Can you hear me?
Yes, Danny. Danny, what do we do?
We're going back there to New Jericho.
New Jericho. No, Danny, don't, please, for me.
Got to. I've got to find out. We're going together.
No, Danny, no, I've got the money. We can get out of here and
Now, stop it.
Danny, ouch, my arm. You're hurting me.
From here on in, we're sticking together. You're going to take me back there. Back where it happened.
All right, darling. It's crazy, but I'll go wherever you go. I can't lose you again.
On the train, Ruth and I said very little to each other. While I hid in the telephone booth at the Pennsylvania station, she'd bought us a couple of cheap overcoats. I sat hunched up in mine, thinking. Ruth had brought along the newspaper clippings. I looked at what they said for the 20th time, trying to see if there was anything there that would help me. Dietrich Slayer's sought, it said. Secretary wanted in brutal slaying at suburban estate. Police are pressing the search for Daniel Nearing, secretary in the employ of the late John Dietrich, 58, member of a well-known local family who was shot and killed in the drawing room of his New Jericho estate on the morning of November the 7th. Nearing disappeared November the 7th, on the morning of which date he is known to have had a bitter quarrel with the deceased. This last was attested to at the inquest by Alma and Franklin Dietrich, widow and brother of the murdered man. Well, I had all the facts now. Wanted for murder. And yet everything that was in me told me that no matter who I'd been, however many memories I'd lost, that I was no killer, that I couldn't have. I had to get into that Dietrich house and stand again in the room in which it had all happened. Maybe something would come back to me. Maybe there would be...
Danny.
Over here, Ruth.
Oh, it's so dark, I couldn't see you. I said I had nothing to do in town and came out to write some letters.
Let's go, then.
Oh, Danny, I'm scared. Please, let's not stay out
you
here.
You said you loved me.
I do, Danny, I do. That's why I'm scared. They're only going to the village. They'll be back in half an hour at the most.
Come on, open the door, Ruth. Hurry. I've got to see the inside. That room, the place where it happened.
It's wrong, Danny. I'm telling you, you're wrong. They'll find you.
Now, open the door, Ruth. Quickly. All right. Now, let's have a look at that room.
Please, Danny, please don't. Don't talk about it.
So this is where I'm supposed to have murdered John Dietrich, huh?
Danny, please.
Where was it? Show me exactly where it was, Ruth. I've got to know.
It was there. Right there. He was standing by the grandfather's clock when... Oh, are you going crazy, Danny? If they get you, you'll hang.
By the clock, huh? You still believe in me, don't you, Ruth?
I believe you, Danny, but I'm scared. I love you.
Ruth, wait a minute. What's that? Listen.
It's only the old man. He's asleep in that room off there. Don't go in there, Danny. You'll wake him.
I want to see him.
No, don't, Danny. He can't help you. You know he's paralyzed and he can't talk.
Turn on the light. I want to see him.
There, you woke him. It's me, Mr. Dietrich. Ruth. This is Danny. You remember Danny, don't you?
Hello, Mr. Dietrich.
See how his eyes are shining.
Yeah. Was he here when it happened?
You know that, Danny. Why do you ask such funny questions? He's been in bed here for 5 years.
That mirror. On the wall there. The clock. Look. You can see the grandfather's clock in the other room.
What are you getting at, Danny?
He could see it. The old man could see the murder through the mirror. Oh, if only he could talk.
He can't talk. You scare me, Danny.
He saw the man who killed John Dietrich. Look! He understands what I'm saying. He's blinking his eyes.
Oh, stop torturing him, Danny. Can't you see what you're
But
doing
he's trying
to
to
him?
say something. Look! His eyes are blinking. He's going to help me. Go outside and watch, Ruth. Go on.
Now watch out at the entranceway. Be careful, Danny. Please, they'll be back any minute.
All right, leave me alone with him.
And I'll call if I hear them coming.
Look now, Mr. Dietrich. Don't be afraid. I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to answer me. Are you trying to tell me something about the murder? Now, blink your eyes. Blink twice if you are. And that's it. Once. Twice. That's good. Did you see it happen? Here, in your mirror. Blink once if the answer is no. Twice if the answer is yes. Once. Twice. You did, huh? You saw it. Now then, is the murderer in this house?
Danny, they're coming. Franklin and Alma, get out of here. Hide. Run, Danny, run.
Is the murderer in this house? Blink once for no, twice for yes. Yes, in this house.
Danny, they're coming.
Wait, I've almost got it. Now, Mr. Dietrich, was it me? Once for no, twice for yes. Was it me?
Get out of here, Danny, into the big room behind the curtains. I'll talk to them.
All right. Well, thanks, Mr. Dietrich. I'll be back.
Ruth? Ruth, is that you in Father's room? Yes. Are you here alone? Why, yes. Why?
No, we thought we heard voices. What are you so jittery about, Ruth?
I'm just tired, that's all. May I go to bed now?
Father's still awake, Ruth.
He'll go to sleep, all right. I'm going upstairs, Mrs. Dietrich, now.
Good night, Ruth. And take your flashlight with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was dark on the road tonight.
Good night, Ruth.
Good night.
She's brought him back here with her. Him, I think.
Who? Dan? Oh, Franklin.
Take it easy. If he's here, we'll get him.
After the evidence we gave against him at the hearing, I'm frightened. Let's get out of here fast. I'll go to the village for the police.
Call the police. No, I'll do it. Hello? Hello? It's too late. It's dead. The wire's cut. Come on, we'll both drive to the village, eh?
But he may be waiting for us out by the car.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
What are you doing there, Franklin?
I think I just might need my gun. Come along.
The moment they left the house, I made for the old man's room. I called for Ruth, but she was gone. Maybe Franklin and Alma had caught her after she cut the telephone wire, but I couldn't wait. My life was hanging on minutes now. I shot the flashlight on the old man's face. Now, Mr. Dietrich, you're helping me fine. You know I'm trying to save my life, don't you? Now, the murderer. Was it me? Was it me who did it? Me, Danny Nearing. Blink once for no. Once! Oh, you're sure? You're sure it wasn't me? Oh, you're smiling, Mr. Dietrich. Smiling. Now, it was somebody in this house. Then who was it? Oh, can't you make a sound? Help me, you've got to. Was it Elma? Twice for yes, once for no. Once. Not Elma. All right, then. Was it Franklin?
Up with the hands, Nearing. Up or you'll never go to trial.
Franklin. Look, you've got to listen. You've got to.
Shut up and drop that flashlight. Trying to kill the old man, too, huh? The murderer returned to the scene of his crime, huh?
You know I didn't kill him.
Well, you tell that to the police. Alma will have him here in a couple of minutes. Where's your girlfriend, Ruth?
She's not here. I don't know where she went.
Never mind. They'll find her. You're a dead duck, Nearing. You killed my brother and beat it. What'd you get out of it? That's always puzzled us.
You killed your brother, and now you're going to kill me.
Oh, you've gone nuts, too. Why should I kill my own brother, you idiot?
To get his share of the estate and his wife, Alma, amongst other things. But you can't stop with killing me. Someone else knows the truth. The old man saw it in the mirror.
Huh?
You'll have to kill your own father, too.
The old man saw it. How do you know?
He told me.
Oh, you're lying. He can't talk. He can't even move.
He can hear. And he can blink his eyes. Come over here and look.
Now, look here. I don't...
Ruth!
He'll be all right. I heard him. He was going to kill you. Here's the gun, Danny. Take it.
But, Ruth, you shouldn't have. In another minute, I'm not sure it was Franklin.
Oh, Dan, darling, please, let's run for it. They'll be here in a second. It's your last chance. They'll all swear you did it.
Not if I can be with the old man another half minute. Mr. Dietrich. Mr. Dietrich. It's Danny again.
No, Danny, don't.
Quiet. Tell me, Mr. Dietrich. Was it Franklin? Did Franklin kill your son, John? Blink once if he did. He's afraid. Well, why are you afraid? Oh, it's this gun. Here, take the gun, Ruth. You take it. He's afraid. I'm not going to hurt you, Mr. Dietrich. What's the matter? Why don't you answer me? Who killed John Dietrich? It wasn't me. It wasn't Elmer. It wasn't Franklin. But someone in the house. Was it? Ruth! Ruth! You!
I told you. I told you not to come. Oh, I love you, Danny. I wanted you. I wouldn't have let them get you.
Why? Why, Ruth? Why did you kill him?
He was always after me. Wouldn't leave me alone. I hated him. Then that night he came at me, threatened me, said he'd kill me. If he couldn't have me, nobody could. He had a gun, and I got it away from him. He hit the clock. He leaned against it. I thought he'd never fall down and die. It was the day you ran away, and I was crazy. They thought it was you. They started looking. I love you, Danny. I still love you. I begged you not to come back here.
Ruth! Put down that gun, Ruth.
No. Stand back, Danny. Stay over there. Just want to look at you. I was hoping we could get away together. But you've been through enough, Danny. And all because of me. Now you're clear, Danny. And this is going to clear me.
Oh, Ruth. Ruth! Well, I guess that's about all there is to tell. I tried to put it all behind me, to resume my life where it left off over 3 years ago. Sometimes when it gets toward evening, I go and walk along Tillery Street. Once in a while, somebody I don't know, will say, "Hello, Danny." And I just say hello and walk on. I don't want to find out anything anymore. I want it all to die away and be still. And it will. All except Ruth. Because somewhere behind that black curtain I was loved and loved someone. We must have known a love that I'll never know again.
And so closes The Black Curtain, starring Mr. Cary Grant. Tonight's tale of Suspense.
Since the beginnings of history, people have enjoyed wine. Ages ago, our ancestors found that wine made any food taste better. Wine is a simple pleasure that anyone can enjoy. That is why Roma has devoted all its wine-making skill to producing wines of fine quality at a price that means you can enjoy them often, just a few cents a glass. Don't feel that you need fine crystal or a special occasion to serve Roma wines. Next time you have a quick supper, serve Roma wine in plain tumblers with your spaghetti or cold meats. And notice how much more enjoyment and zest it adds to the meal. Serve Roma wine often, cool or chilled. You'll quickly discover why Roma, R-O-M-A, Roma wines are America's largest selling wines. Yes, Roma wines are true to type. Roma wines are faithful in flavor. Roma wines are sound of character. Roma wines are reasonable in cost. Made in California for enjoyment throughout the world.
Our thanks to Cary Grant for his suspenseful performance here tonight. And Mr. Grant wants us to say that he will be listening with you next week at the same hour to Mr. Robert Young in the story called The Night Reveals. Don't forget then, next week, same time, for Robert Young in Suspense.
Presented by Roma Wines, R-O-M-A, made in California for enjoyment throughout the world. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Gunsmoke, brought to you by Chesterfield. Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed, thanks to Accuray. They satisfy the most.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
You know that man, Shelby? No. Looks like some kind of tenderfoot to me. Who else is camping a grove of trees, got no water? You have a little talk with him. He looks scared, Kringle. Seen men look scared before. Hello, mister.
Oh?
Camped here all alone?
Yeah. Scouting around for some homestead land.
Good-looking horse you got over there.
He seems to be a good horse. He's awful young.
I think I'll take a look at him.
Sure. What you men doing out here?
Oh, we just ride around. We scout for things, too.
Land?
Uh-uh. We ain't the kind of settle down to hard work like that.
I had a little orchard back in Ohio. Raised apples.
Yeah. Yeah, apples are fine. Wished I had one now. Hey, Kringle. Yeah? That there horse ain't got no brand on him. No brand?
It washed off crossing the river.
You talking about washed off?
It did. I ain't lying.
Well, it don't matter none. Go get your rope, Shelby. I'll get it.
What's he need a rope for?
Well, now, don't you worry about that, mister. We'll take care of everything.
What are you going to do?
I told you not to worry.
Now, look, I ain't done nothing.
Of course you ain't. We're just going to save you from all that hard work you was planning on.
No.
All right, I got it, Shelby. Hurry up.
Let me
Stand
go.
still.
Let me go, will you?
Maybe there's water in this grove, Mr. Dillon.
Well, if there is, somebody's dug a well, Chester.
Oh, you been here before?
I've passed by.
I swear I'm going to start toting me a water bag.
That's the easy way, Chester.
Bet it is.
Yeah, somebody's had a campfire here recently.
Yesterday sometime, I'd say.
Yeah. That big rain last night washed out all the prints.
It sure did. Doggone it, there's got to be a spring here somewhere. I'm going to take a look.
You're wasting your time, Chester.
I don't mind.
I never saw a man who needed the comforts of home more than he does.
Mr. Dillon! Mr. Dillon, come here, quick!
Huh?
Look.
Yeah. Lynched.
Scared me half to death. I seen him hanging there.
It isn't a very pretty sight.
If there ain't no horse around, where's his horse?
He probably stole it. And then they caught up with him and took it back.
Who do you suppose done it?
I don't know. I don't know how we're ever going to find out. Now, come on. Let's cut him down. And get him into the ground.
Introducing one of the country's best-known jazz musicians and arrangers, Mr. Bobby Haggart. How about whistling along with him?
Packs more pleasure, packs more pleasure. Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
It stands to reason a cigarette made better and packed better, smokes better, tastes better. And Chesterfield is more perfectly packed by Accuray. This electronic miracle removes human error in cigarette manufacture. So Accuray Chesterfield is firm and pleasing to the lips, mild yet deeply satisfying. Yes, Chesterfield gives you something no other cigarette can give you.
Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
To the touch, to the taste, Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed by Chesterfield. Mild, yet they satisfy the most.
Matt, I don't know what I'd do if I rode into a grove of trees and found a man hanging there.
Well, I hope it never happens, Kitty.
How can men do such things?
It's easy. For some men.
I hope you catch him.
I'd like to, Kitty.
Who was he, Matt?
We found an envelope on him. His name was Hank Blennis.
Must have been a newcomer. I never heard of him.
Well, he wasn't wanted by the law that I know of. But I guess he was a horse thief, all right.
They wouldn't have lynched him otherwise, would they?
No,
Then why don't you find out who's had a horse stolen recently?
they wouldn't likely be talking about it now, Kitty.
Well, things could be worse, Matt.
Oh, what do you mean?
Suppose there wasn't any law at all. Then people wouldn't even have to hide what they do. Now at least they know they're doing wrong.
Well, that doesn't seem to stop him much.
Marshal Dillon?
Yeah.
My name's Charlie Drain, Marshal. I run cattle up north on the Republican River. Happened to be in Dodge on business, and I heard about that lynching yesterday.
You know something about it, Drain?
I know I don't like it. My own pa was lynched, Marshal. A mob strung him up by mistake. I was just a boy, but I seen him do it, and it's laid in my mind ever since.
Yeah, I can understand that. But what about this lynching?
It's a big thing with me, Marshal. I can't endure seeing no lynchers get off free.
Well, I don't like it myself, Drain.
Then you do something about it, or I will.
Now, Matt.
Maybe you better tell me what you got in mind, Drain.
A fella named Gil Mather. Got a little ranch over on Dove Creek. I've heard round and about that he's had a horse or two stole recently, and I've heard that he's talked to hanging whoever stole him. It looks to me like he went and done it, Marshal.
I know Gil Mather.
Well, then maybe you better go bring him in.
Or you will, huh?
I'll see him dead. I told you how I feel about things. I ain't fooling, Marshal.
Drain, I got some advice for you.
Is that so?
Why don't you take a walk around Dodge and talk to some people, huh? You ask them what I'm like when somebody tries to crowd me. Then you go sit down somewhere and think about it. You think about it real hard.
I didn't know Gil Mather was married, Mr. Dillon.
He isn't, Chester.
Well, then who's that boy in the corral yonder feeding his horses?
That's Billy Driscoll. He works for Mather off and on.
You think Mather will fight?
I'm not arresting him, Chester. I got no evidence says he did it.
Well, what if he admits it?
And it's not often a man admits to a crime, Chester.
Guess not.
Hello there, Marshal. Chester.
Oh?
How are you, Mather?
Oh, fair to middling, Marshal. What brings you out here?
I was told that you've lost some horses.
I didn't lose them, Marshal. They was stole. 3 of them now.
Any idea who's been doing it?
If I knew, there'd be a man hanging from a limb somewheres.
There was one, Mather.
What?
About 20 miles north of here, a man called Hank Blennis.
Was he a horse thief?
Probably.
Who hung him?
Some people think maybe you did.
No. No, it wasn't me. But horse thieves has got to be hung, Marshal.
Mather Blennis was lynched Thursday. Where were you then?
You questioning my word, Marshal?
Where were you?
Marshal, you got any evidence, you come arrest me. Meantime, I got work to do.
Contrary, ain't he, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah.
It sure looks to me like he's hiding something.
Well, I can't arrest him for that. Come on, let's get back to town. Doc? Hey, Doc. Doc, you asleep?
Huh? Who said that? Oh, well, oh. Oh, it's you, man.
You sure don't do much to dress this town up, Doc.
Oh, what man's got a better right to sit out here and rest his eyes for a few minutes?
No?
I was up the entire night nursing old Mrs. Jackstone through a fever.
Well, maybe we ought to tie a sign on you explaining that, Doc. Folks might not understand otherwise.
Oh, folks can go hang. I'm here if anybody needs me.
Well, a man would have to be mighty sick to need a doctor who looks like he's sleeping off a drunk.
Don't harp at me, Mad Dillon. From what I hear, you're not exactly distinguishing yourself at your own trade.
Well, you got me there, Doc.
Yeah, you bet your life. And since you admit it, then I won't say any more to you.
Well, good.
Even though it does kind of look bad when people can go around stringing up anybody they please, and with no interference from the law.
Yeah, well, thanks for not saying any more about it, Doc.
Oh, I'm not one to twist the knife. Now, you know that.
Oh, sure.
Marshal Dillon, I want to talk to you.
What's the trouble now, Drain?
I'm tired waiting, Marshal. Something's got to be done.
Drain, why don't you go back up to your ranch and leave all this to me, huh?
'Cause you ain't doing nothing, that's why. You see them 2 men over there, Marshal?
What?
Them 2 standing over there.
Who are they?
One is Kringle and one is Jack Shelby. And they feel as strong as I do about all this.
All right, Drain. You don't have to go back to your ranch. I don't care where you go, but you get out of Dodge and you take your friends there with you. If I see any one of you around after sundown, I'll throw you in jail.
I take it back, joking you, Matt. You are kind of up against it.
You know, Doc, I just thought of something.
Yeah? What?
That fella Blennis was obviously a dude. He wasn't even wearing the right kind of clothes for a man who'd been out here very long. Maybe he wasn't a horse thief at all.
Then why would anybody lynch him?
Well, I'm going over to the stable, Doc. Maybe Moss Grimmick can help me.
That's the fellow, Marshal. That's him. That's what he looked like.
What kind of a horse was it, Moss?
A little 3-year-old bay. Real young, but plumb gentle. Had 4 white stockings, Marshal.
Well, that gives me something to go on.
There's another thing, too. That horse wasn't branded.
What?
Well, I raised him myself, and I just never got around to putting no mark on him. Except for the no good stuff I bought.
What stuff?
Oh, a fella sold it to me, some kind of chemical powder. You wet it and then kind of paint your brain down with it and supposed to take the hair off. But it don't work. I tried it on another animal. It just washed right off.
Ah. And whoever's got that little bay of yours could put his own brand on him, huh?
I'm a real fool, Marshal, believing you can brand a horse rubbing a little chemical powder on him.
Well, we all get taken sometimes, Moss.
I stopped Gil Mather from getting took, though.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. He come in here the other day, asked me about it. I told him.
What day was that, Moss?
Thursday. Him and the boy, Billy Driscoll, they come to town every Thursday, Marshal. Come in early, spend the whole day. Why? Something wrong?
Hank Blennis was lynched Thursday.
Well, you wasn't thinking Gil Mather done it, was you?
Charlie Drain was, and he still is. I better go find him, Moss.
Say, where are you listening to Gunsmoke? In your car? Getting ready for dinner? Oh, I see. Just relaxing in your favorite easy chair. Well, I'd say you're in a good spot right now to really enjoy a Chesterfield. You see, Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed. It stands to reason. A cigarette made better and packed better smokes better, tastes better. And Chesterfield is more perfectly packed by Accuray. This electronic miracle removes human error in cigarette manufacture. So Accuray Chesterfield is firm and pleasing to the lips, mild, yet deeply satisfying. Yes, Chesterfield gives you something no other cigarette can give you.
Chesterfield packs more pleasure because Chesterfield's more perfectly packed.
To the touch, to the taste, Chesterfield packs more pleasure because it's more perfectly packed. Buy Chesterfield, mild, yet they satisfy the most.
I don't see nobody around at all, Mr. Dillon.
Maybe they're in the house, Chester.
Want for me to go see?
We'll tie up here by the barn first.
All right, sir. Could be Mather and the boys eating their dinner, Mr. Dillon.
At least you hope so, huh?
Well, any man gets a little hungry now and then.
Wait a minute, Chester.
Why, that's Charlie Drain.
Yeah.
They was in the barn. Them other two fellows, they must be Kringle and Shelby you told me about.
Yeah, that's them.
What are you doing out here, Marshal?
I'm looking for Gil Mather, Drain.
He ain't around.
Chester.
Yes, sir.
See if he's in the barn.
I said he ain't around, didn't I?
Go ahead, Chester.
Yes, sir.
And don't any one of you try to stop him. Now, which one of you is Kringle and which is Shelby?
I'm Kringle, he's Shelby. Why?
Now, it's my job to know who people are, that's all.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
If you ask me, it's your job to punish criminals, Marshal.
You're right, Drain.
Well, you ain't been doing very good at it.
I'm kind of slow sometimes.
You're too slow.
Mr. Dillon. Mr. Dillon. They're in there. Gil Mather and the boy, both of them.
Don't stand in front of me, Chester.
They're dead. These fellows went and hung them, both of them.
Keep your hand away from that gun, Kringle.
But you can't blame me. Me nor Shelby. It was Drain's idea. He paid us to come along with him, is all.
Billy was just a kid. Why'd they have to hang him for?
So he was a kid. He was keeping mighty bad company, now wasn't he?
Drain, both the boy and Gil Mather were in Dodge the day Hank Blennis was lynched.
Are you sure of that?
There are witnesses.
I don't want no more part of this. Come on, Shelby.
Hold it, Kringle.
Well, You ain't stopping me, Marshal.
Is that your bay horse over there with the 4 white stockings?
What about it?
It's pretty smart of you to lynch a man rather than shoot him when you go to steal his horse.
What are you saying, Marshal?
They hung Blenner Strain. I guess they figured helping you with Mather and the boy would put everybody off their track.
So they lynched him. They done it. Why, you dirty dogs!
Why, he killed him. He killed both of them.
Sure, I killed them. They had it coming now, didn't they?
Give me that gun, Train. I said give it.
Lynchers. All the time there was nothing but a couple of dirty lynchers.
He's crazy, Mr.
I hate them.
What do you think you just did in the barn there, Train?
I made a mistake. I can't help that. I only wish I could have hung these two. They deserved it. Just like them fellas that lynched my pa.
I ain't never seen a man so mixed up.
I hate lynching.
Sometimes a man can hate too much, Train. Sometimes it can twist him till he gets where he doesn't really belong.
I don't know what you mean.
Hell, it doesn't matter now. Not anymore.
In a moment, our star, William Conrad.
When you shop for those last-minute vacation items, don't forget to pick up a couple of cartons of Chesterfields. You'll find it mighty convenient to have a carton or two along in your suitcase, or if you're driving, right in the glove compartment. Chesterfield packs more pleasure, more vacation pleasure, because it's more perfectly packed. So buy Chesterfields. Buy them by the carton. Mild, yet they satisfy the most.
You know, on the frontier, bullets cost 8 cents apiece, so they were seldom wasted. But next week, it's a stray bullet that kills a man. And that was the West. Good night.
Gunsmoke, produced and directed by Norman Macdonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Our story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Cary. Sound patterns by Tom Hanley and Bill James. Featured in the cast were Vic Perrin, Harry Bartell, Lawrence Dobkin, John Daner, Jack Moyles, and James Nusser. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty.
Live modern. Smoke L&M.
Live modern. Change to L&M.
Yes, have an L&M. No other cigarette you can buy, plain or filter, gives you the full, exciting flavor you get through the pure white L&M Miracle Tip. Through the modern Miracle Tip, L&M tastes richer, smokes cleaner, draws easier. So light up, free up, let your taste come alive. Live modern. Smoke L&M.
Join us again next week for another specially transcribed story on Gunsmoke.